welcome back the director and co-writer of Starlet, Sean Baker. Is that a question already?
Could you explain the ending to me, please?
I like to allow the audience to interpret that.
Well, I've interpreted that she had a daughter.
Yes.
The daughter was 18 when she died.
Yes.
I've got Frank at about 50. I'm thinking the only way that Frank was a successful gambler is because money wasn't her object, so possibly gamblers killed Frank's daughter in order to get to Frank.
Oh, no, that's, I mean, you can do that, but, yeah. No, I think that both her husband and her daughter passed within this, a short period of time. That was the important point to get across. How you wanted to read into it is up to you. But what was trying to be, what I was trying to get across there is that that the reveal of her having a daughter that passed.
Yeah, well, we put a lot into that because we also put in. So now she's going to have a granddaughter that she can, have because of the daughter, etc. Through the generations. And we also put in the girl coming to say, she's only using you for her money, which doesn't really bother her because she has lots of money. I think I would have liked it a little bit better explained as to why the money in the thermos, maybe that it wasn't Frank's or it was just...
Totally great explain us everything.
I feel that I wanted to set that up as something that you see as important in the first half of the film, and then gradually realize that that isn't as significant as the relationship that builds. And
You did that very well. We really got on when the girl was supposedly stealing the money. We didn't care anymore, because the money wasn't the object, it was the friendship with the two people, which was really well done.
right, well, thank you. That was intentional. Thank you.
Can you talk about about the two women, how you met them, and
About the casting?
Yeah.
Well, very briefly, everybody came to this film in a different way, and like all independent films on this budget level, there were lots of happy accidents that occurred. She found Besedka at the YMCA working out, and texted me and said, "I think we found our Sadie." I said, "Well, approach her gently and get her in for an audition." And she came in, and the very special thing about this is that she had lived in the Los Angeles area for most of her life, but never had the opportunity to act, always wanted to. And she just, I knew right away from that first audition that she would be right for the role. She's actually she's very much the antithesis of Sadie. She's, if you've ever seen Harold and Maude, which is a big influence on this film, she's like the real life Maude. She is just full of positivity and life, and she's the opposite of that nasty, abrasive Sadie character. And it was actually a little tough at first to get her to that point, because the first or second take, she was always a little too kind to the Jane character. Dree came to us through her manager, Alan Mindell, who was waiting for actually the right opportunity for Dree to make her lead role debut. I didn't know that she was pursuing acting. She's a model. She travels the world, and she studied acting, but she's very particular about what she'll take, and very selective. And when she read our script, she really fell in love with it. I cast her over a Skype video call. She was in New York, I was in LA. We bonded over the course of an hour speaking, and I knew that she would be right for the role. And everybody else came to us through casting director Julia Kim, James Ramsone from The Wire and Treme. I ran into him at a 24-hour emergency vet clinic because both of our dogs were having problems one night. And I said, after our dogs get better, I want to talk to you about a movie that I'm making. So
and
anyway,
the dog is your dog?
Yes, that's Booney.
get Ted Hope as executive producer. That's great
Oh,
to have on your team.
yeah, yes, definitely. Ted is so great and has been so supportive. He actually was a fan of my previous film called Prince of Broadway, and told me basically back in 2010 when it was released, if I ever need any help on my next film, to come to him. He had just come off of Martha Marcy May, Marlene, and said that and introduced us to the producers of that film, because they were looking for a follow-up, and we got to work with them through Ted.
Yeah.
Yeah, first of all, congratulations on the film. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
I really liked the music, the way it was set in. It really worked for me. The story itself is the real gem in this. I really liked it. However, it's a real contrast with Porn Star and the relationship between the two women. How is that going to work out for you with film from the business side and your thought process of your choice?
Well, it really comes from two ideas that were integrated. I had this incident happened to a family friend 10 or 12 years ago. A friend of my father's found $20,000 in a hot water bottle at a yard sale. And it just always stuck with me as if it happened to me, it would be a moral dilemma. I was trying to ask myself what I would do in that situation. And I knew that it was a great catalyst to bring two people together. And so I had this story. It was a scriptment that was, which is partly a script, part treatment, sitting on the back burner for years. It was called Bric-a-Brac, and it was just about this unlikely friendship that comes together. Years later, I was working on an MTV show in Los Angeles, and part of the stunt casting, as they call it, was to have cameos every week with adult film performers. And I was fascinated by their personal lives. I thought that was never shown in a film. I wanted to actually make a small verite film that followed one of them on a day that they weren't working, and insane and boring. And I thought that I would make this little film about the biggest drama being in her life, or during this day, would be that she would lose a dog for an hour, and that was going to be the whole film. And then I spoke to my co-writer, Chris Bergosh, and he suggested combining the two ideas. And I really liked that, because it was giving a story to somebody who normally wouldn't get that sort of narrative. When the adult film industry is focused on in films, it's usually just about the work and all about the work. So, and regarding the business side of it, I have a great distributor in the States called Music Box Films, and they're also covering it here. They're carrying the film for Canada. I don't know how they're planning to release it, but they are very supportive of the fact that it's. They haven't asked me to censor it or to cut it. It'll be going out unrated. And I really don't know how it'll play in certain countries. I know in some certain Asian countries, Muslim countries, we will have to cut or black bar or not show it at all. It won't show at all. But I'll take that on a case-by-case basis, and we'll see what happens.
How did you get Starlet to act so naturally?
Booney is a wonderful dog. It was also very, very hot in the valley, extremely hot in August of last year, and he was just lethargic because of the heat. So he just sat and was just relaxing all the time, just watching these crazy humans run around, and not crazy. No, but also it was such a small crew, and everybody is always giving Booney love, so he was taking it in and appreciating it. Yeah.
What breed is he?
We don't know. He's a mix, a Chihuahua mix of some sort, from a rescue.
I had a question about the relationship between them. I actually have a relationship with a 91-year-old person that I hang out and I go to bingo and I do that with her. And so some of that, although I'm not a porn star, she can be kind of ornery sometimes if I'm late picking her up. rang true for me in the relationship that were sort of subtle. Like I've gone to the graveyard with her and I've done things like that. And I'm wondering where that came from in the writing from you or the other co-writers. I think you wrote this with
Yes,
somebody
I
else.
co-wrote it with her.
What that experience was, because there were things for me that rang true in my relationship with her. I've had a relationship with her for 14 years. She's my
Yeah.
grandmother's cousin. And
You know, to tell you the truth, I don't know. Chris and I, it was maybe a little bit intuitive. And then also, you know, when I was right out of NYU, this is the first time I'm thinking about this, actually. It's an interesting question. You know, I do have, out of NYU, I was a taxi driver for a little while. And because I was a taxi driver in the suburbs in New Jersey, the only people I'd be driving around are either people with DUIs or people going to the methadone clinics in the morning, or elderly who no longer have their driver's license. And I bonded a lot with them and got to speak with them every day, and they were regulars. And so maybe it stems from that. And I take a lot from those years, and maybe that's a little bit. And also, just also I have to say that just hanging out with Besedka, and always asking all of my cast members to make this as natural as possible and bring their own experiences in. And Dree and Besedka really bonded and spent a lot of time together. And sometimes we would go through an entire scene and feel that something was missing, and I would approach the two, especially Dree. Dree, I collaborated with a lot, and I would say, what would make this a little more real? Is that line working? Is this line working? Would she say that to you? And we would actually perhaps do the entire scene over again, and with their cues. And so it was really just about becoming friends with everybody, becoming friends with Besedka, and allowing everybody to bring their own thing to the table.
Hi, two-part question. Actually, I was in the previous lecture you were in on the Film Trade Forum, so I know kind of what your budget was, but can you just run down some of the production logistics, how long we shot?
Oh yeah,
and
sure.
part two is,
It was a 25-day shoot. We were hoping that the film was going to be shot for $150,000. We went about $100,000 over budget. It's at $250,000 now. We shot on HD. I'm a cinephile and love the film look. So Radium and I, who shot this, Radium Chung, who's my amazing DP on this film, we worked closely together to try to find a way of making HD not as digital looking, and we wanted to really capture the more cinematic look of the valley. And we were lucky enough to find these vintage Lomo anamorphic lenses. They're Russian lenses. Somebody was renting them out of a trailer park in Santa Clarita, and we found these beautiful lenses that I think really enhanced the look of just an F3 camera, a Sony F3 camera, which is like the baby Alexa. I know that's very technical, but I hope that answers some of those questions. Yeah.
Part two was both these lead actresses. I know you said Drea had studied acting, but they were both there first. Did you have to adapt your directing style to work with actors who really hadn't?
No, because I've worked with first-time actors before on both Takeout and Prince of Broadway. And Prince of Broadway employed a lot of on street casting. So these were people who aspired to become actors but never had the chance before. So it was really, no, in this case I did not have to. I'd already been there and done that.
I really liked how you handled Jane's character by making her more three-dimensional. Like, you didn't just focus on her life as an adult film actress, and that was like it. You added a lot of just like normal forgiveness, and I thought that was really kind of. So yeah, that was cool.
Thank you. All right. Well,
He's got a plane to catch. He's got a plane to catch. Thank you all for coming, and have a great festival.